Hey guys, Lexus Driver here. So another relatively short video, the best I can, probably 10 or 11 or more, uh, probably 10 or 11 minutes or something, or maybe something in that. But anyways, so on this video, I'm gonna be showing you guys another comparison video, but this one I have here. This is the one on the right I have here. This one is another DeviantArt DreamUp AI generated artwork. So on this one, this is the what I have on the left is an airport, and on the right I have a spaceport. So this is for those who are a huge fan of the Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken. If you guys like to check these out, I will link these down below in the description so you guys can check them out. And these are AI generated artworks, so technically these aren't my artworks. It's AI generated, but I just post these on my DeviantArt because I find this is so much fun. I know as much as how fun this is, I'm trying the best I can to stay true to myself. Like considering the fact that I have some artworks I made, besides having to trace and whatnot. These are, like I said, these are AI generated artworks. As much as I like these, I'm trying the best I can to stay true to myself. So, anyways, so on the left here I have Princess Ruby Gillman International Airport with five terminals. So I went with five. I went with five terminals. Okay, so Terminal One for low cost airlines on actually, let me say it clearly. So what I have on the left is Princess Ruby Gillman International Airport with five terminals: Terminal One, Terminal Two, Terminal Three, Terminal Four, and Terminal Five. The first three terminals are for domestic flights, and the last two terminals are for international flights. Terminal 1 is for domestic flights for low cost airlines only. Terminal 2 for domestic flights for the subsidiaries of the three major airlines in the United States: Delta Airlines, United Airlines, and American Airlines. Terminal 3 for domestic flights for the major U.S. flag carrier airlines: Delta Airlines, United Airlines, and American Airlines. And for the international terminals, Terminal 4 is for international flights for U.S. flag carrier airlines only. And Terminal 5 is for international flights for foreign carriers only. So that's the basic sum up of Princess Ruby Gillman International Airport. Now, on the right here, I have a spaceport. And also, this one's for the Ruby Gillman fans. This one here is called Princess Ruby Gillman International Spaceport. It has three terminals instead of five. So the three terminals on Princess Ruby Gillman International Spaceport are the suborbital terminal, the orbital terminal, and the interplanetary terminal. Now, if you're wondering why I have three, because given my understanding when it comes to space flights, I get there are two, but I actually learned a new one, and I'm pretty sure there might be more, but I'd rather just stick with three instead of going overboard on this one. So there's suborbital, orbital, and interplanetary. So suborbital is basically you're in the vacuum of space only for a brief moment, and then before you come back to Earth. That's the suborbital. You're launched into space, and then you just stay in space for just a brief moment. You don't complete an orbit, hence why it's called suborbital. You just stay in the vastness of space for a brief moment, probably around 3 minutes or more or something, and then you fly back down to Earth and pretty much arrive at your destination. So that's suborbital. Orbital is basically when basically you reach the vastness of space and you have and you are now in low Earth orbit, or LEO. So for this, so that's orbital space flight. This is a flight where you're actually in low Earth orbit, and you can and can circle the Earth, orbiting the Earth. Hence why it's called orbital. And then finally, I have interplanetary. Now, interplanetary is basically when it comes to traveling, you leave Earth's orbit and you, let's say, you head to the moon, you head to Mars, and heck, also heading to one of the moons of Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, and even the dwarf planet Pluto, along with its moons. So yeah, that's basically. What I have here about this fictional spaceport, Princess Ruby Gillman International Spaceport, with 3 terminals: suborbital terminal, orbital terminal, and interplanetary terminal. So yeah, and don't worry, I'm still having a lot of fun with DeviantArt's AI generated artworks, but at the same time is I want to stay true to myself when it comes to this kind of stuff. I mean, AI generated fun, but I am very conscious about staying true to myself when it comes to what I post on my DeviantArt. And also, also when it comes to spaceports, especially with like this one, with 3 terminals, like I said, for suborbital, orbital, and interplanetary. The spacecraft, the spacecraft would be sitting on the launch pad instead of in an airport where you have to taxi. Because the reason why I think that that when it comes to spaceports, space liners would be on the launch site instead of taxiing and then take off. Because I heard that because when it comes to rockets like this, they have to use their fuel immediately to get to space. So unlike an airport where when a plane is on the ground and taxiing to the runway for takeoff, it actually uses fuel, and um, you would need that valuable amount of fuel to get to your destination, whether it's a domestic flight or international flight or even a regional flight. That's um, that's how I would see, or how really the airport would really work. Because so basically, in an airport, it's once all the passengers are on board, they push back and then they taxi to the runway, and then they take off. But during the pushback, this is where the pilots start their engines. But when it comes to taxiing to the runway, it does use up fuel. And yeah, a pushback is really um, you know, a very common way for an aircraft to leave the gate. Because airliners, they can't go backwards by themselves. I mean, sure, they have a reverse thrust, but the reverse thrust is it's only for slowing down the plane, not used to put the airplane in reverse. Because reverse thrust, that can actually damage the terminal if they use it. So hence why they use pushback. Now, when it comes to the space terminal, the spacecraft would be on the launch pad. So I would say so. How would a spaceport work? The spacecraft would the space liner would be when it's ready for departure. I'll talk about the arrival part later on, but on this one, on this part of what I'm going to say here is I'm talking about the departure phase. Um, in the for the departure phase, when it comes to the spaceport, the spacecraft would be already on the launch pad, and the tanks remain empty just for safety reasons. Because the tanks remain empty uh, one, once the crew members come aboard. So once the crew members come aboard, that's when they start fueling up the space liner. Or another way of operating is before the crew members arrive at their spacecraft for departure. The spacecraft is in position and ready in position, like with connections made to provide fuel for the spacecraft, and for the spacecraft, or in this case the space liner or spaceship, and once the crew members arrive, the fueling is ongoing. So uh, and then afterwards, once the crew members finish going through checks and whatnot, the passengers get ready to board the spacecraft. And once the passengers are on board, the passengers buckle up, and then the spacecraft gets into a position where it's pointing up at the sky, like as you would in for a rocket, and then Kennedy Space Center for the United States, the Baikonur Cosmodrome for Russia, but the Baikonur Cosmodrome is located in Kazakhstan, or even the Vostochny Cosmodrome in Russia. There was always going to be a countdown. So once the countdown reaches 0, that's when they ignite the engines and the spacecraft goes into space. Now, finally, for the arrival of a spacecraft heading into the spaceport, it's gonna land like an airplane. So, like I have this this inspiration of the space shuttle. I would say it would glide, but there could be engine power, but technically it would be gliding. And then unlike the space shuttle, which they rely on gliding a lot when they reach the runway, so in this one they would after re-entry they would try and glide the spacecraft to the runway. They drop the landing gear and then successfully land. So yeah, so that's how I would think about the basic operation of a spaceport. So yeah, and and also I've already used up all 10 of my prompts. The prompts are going to be refreshed next week, so I might think of something when I use this stuff. But like I said, I'm very conscious about being true to myself, even though this is a lot of fun to do. But anyway, guys, that's all I have for this video. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can stay updated on whatever video I upload on my YouTube channel. But anyway, guys, that's all I have for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye, and have a good day, everybody.